Hello and welcome. I hope you are doing well. We're going to talk quickly about simple interest, okay? And so let's go ahead and start with the definition of the word interest here, okay? So we have interest is money earned or paid for the use of someone else's money, okay? And we have two examples here. So, example one is if you deposit money into a savings account, the interest is the money the bank pays you for using your money. Obviously, I'm guessing that you know if you put your money into a savings account, the bank is not going to let it just sit there. They're going to use it. And the interest is what they're going to pay you to use your money. The second example is if you borrow money, interest is the money you're going to pay for using the person who lent you the money, for using their money. Okay, so that's just two examples there. And we have the definition of simple interest. Simple interest is interest on a principal amount, and the principal amount is either the amount that you deposited or the amount you borrow. Okay, so sometimes it's important to be able to calculate how much money we will have at the end of the year in a bank account if we put our money in the savings account, or how much we're going to owe for borrowing someone else's money. The formula for doing that is interest equals principal times percent rate times time in years. Okay, you may see it just like this. I equals PRT. Now we have three questions up here on the board to work those problems out real quickly. Okay, number one says, what is the simple interest earned on $300 deposited for 2 years in a savings account which pays 5% interest per year? Okay, so we have our formula here. I equals PRT. We're looking for the simple interest earned, and the P, which is principal, is 300 times the percent rate, which is 5%, which brings me to thinking about this sign here, percent sign. It means, as we can see here, out of 100. So if you need to figure out what this is as a decimal or a fraction, we can simply remove this fraction sign and put it over 100 because that's what the percent sign means. And if I were to do 5 divided by 100, I would get 0.05. Okay, so now we have the principal, we have the percent rate, and the time is 2 years. Okay. And so if I were to multiply all those together, I would find that the interest equals $30, just like that. So the simple interest earned on $300 deposited for 2 years in a savings account which pays 5% simple interest would be $30. Moving on to the second question, at the end of 3 years, what is the total amount owed on a $420 loan borrowed at 9.5% simple interest per year? Okay, again, we have our formula here, and we're going to substitute the numbers that we are given in the question for the letters or the variables in the formula. All right, so our principal is 429 times the percent rate, which is 9.5. Again, we could put that over 100. 9.5 divided by 100 is 0.095. Okay, and we're dealing with the the time in years, and that's 3. Okay, if I am to multiply all those together, I get interest equals 200, that's 122.26. 122.26.5. But we're going to round this to the nearest cent, so that would actually be 122.27. Okay, and that's the interest. But the question says, what is the total amount owed on this loan? So we have to pay back what we borrow and the interest that is accumulated. And so 122.27 plus 429 gives us 551.27. Okay, so the total amount owed at the end of 3 years on an $429 loan borrowed at 9.5% is $551.27. All right, now on to the third and final question, which says, what is the interest earned on $200 deposited for 16 months in a savings account paying 6% simple interest? Now, in question 1 and 2, we've been dealing with years that come out evenly, but in here we have 16 months. But we know in the formula, we're dealing with time in years. So what we need to do is convert this amount of months into years. The way we do that per year, well, we know there's 12 months in a year. So what we're going to do is take whatever amount of months that we are given, in this case 16 months, and put it over 12. Okay? So I'll just make a little note of that right here. Okay? All right, now I have my formula. Okay? I equals, the principal is 200. Okay? Times the percent rate, which is 6%, and we know we're going to put that over 100. And if I do that, I have 0.06, okay? And then 16 divided by 12 actually gives me 1.333 repeating. Okay, so if I'm going to multiply all 3 of those together, then I will find that the interest earned on $200 deposited for 16 months in a savings account paying 6% simple interest is $16. Okay. All right. So again, that was a brief video on simple interest, understanding what interest is and the formula, and also remembering that in the case where it's not an even amount of years, say 16 months, 17 months, 18 months, we're going to take that amount of months, put it over 12, divide it, so that we can convert that amount of months into years, so that we can work out the formula correctly. Again, I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you soon.